All right, good morning. Welcome in Friday, 6:30, May 19th for another safety focus of the week. This week's code of conduct is to maintain confidentiality of insider information learned about ECI or about our clients. Ben Dow, anything to add on this code item this week?
Yeah, you can use code item. This is code item number 12, right?
Yep.
So use code
Last
item
one.
number
Or
11 to
second
guide
last.
you on this one, which is to also strive for restraint, discretion, and integrity. So if it doesn't feel right to be talking about something, it's probably not. Use good judgment. I think everybody probably has a good idea of what you shouldn't say, especially after we say it, right? So I just wanted to reiterate last week's code item in support of this one.
Nice. So safety news with our statistics, 16 days without a recordable injury and 3 days from last first aid injury. A little bit better this week, and this week's topic really kind of highlights everything that we've been going through over the last month. We've had definitely a higher frequency than we would like to see on the injury front. Yes, they're all been kind of minor, but again, as we all know, in the hierarchy triangle, for every 300,000 bad decision, there's a fatality looming in the background. So we need to make sure that we're staying on top and really identifying those types of behaviors and those hazard awarenesses so we can try to really make sure that everybody goes home safe and sound each and every day. So today we're going to kind of talk about those at-risk behaviors, understanding those behaviors that are leading to some of these incidents that we have for us, but also the ones that we hear in the news and also that is going around the country. So we're going to quickly talk about complacency, distractions, exhaustion, overconfidence, and ignorance. Priorities are set. So the first one is complacency. We often get fooled because the process worked 1,000 times before without an incident. We kind of really start just making sure we're focused on the task versus scanning to identify, if it's overhead or whatever we may be doing. We get lazy is the best way to say it, that we don't strive to execute at a higher level. So we lose that awareness. We're not ready. We're not looking for problems, going through the motions and not doing what we need to do. So let's try to get back into that scanning mindset. Let's communicate. Let's not let complacency set in. If the whole team is complacent, then we're really not focused in scanning for those hazards around us or identifying those best practices that we should be using to making sure we go safe and sound each and every day. This is kind of a little cartoon ad that I saw, and it's hard to see, but there's like a truck or a train coming through the background through this barrier that they set for themselves because they don't want to strive for greatness. So distractions is another one. We see it very often, definitely on the auto side of things, backing into vehicles, getting in auto accidents. Distractions is a big one. So we got to keep our head in the game. You had an argument with your spouse or loved one this morning, or thinking about the weekend, whatever it may be. If you can't stay focused on the task, then you won't have control over the work. And that's what we need to make sure that we have each and every day is we are running the job isn't running us. So let's put those phone down. Let's not let those outside distractions inward, and let's try to eliminate those unsafe conditions, unsafe acts. Exhaustion. It's another one, especially it's not quite heat stress season yet, but it's coming. But again, we are working long work coming up, and we've already done some this season. But again, don't put yourself in a situation that compromises safety of yourself, your coworkers, or the public. Avoid excessive indulgence before a workday. Get plenty of sleep and take frequent breaks when performing monotonous work. So it's really important that we communicate and try to plan ahead as best we can to eliminate this. So if working on a water break and then working all day, that's asking too much, working 15, 16, 17 hours. So let's really plan ahead and communicate and making sure we're getting proper sleep so we're not just walking zombies on job sites, because that's when bad things could happen. Overconfidence and ignorance. So don't get blinded by your overconfidence. When we get good at a task, it is easy to get overconfident or lose respect for the job site hazards that exist. We see this all the time with lifting extremely heavy loads or trying to do something by yourself. We easily can put ourselves in dangers or our fellow coworkers by just like, I've done this before, I can do it again. You kind of, you kind of in lines to my next topic, which is that priorities. We're taking that production. Is production more important than safety? You know, those are the kind of questions that we should be kind of internally asking ourselves or fellow coworkers. So let's not take on unnecessary risks. Let's fix our priorities. Let's make sure that safety is first and it's coming first in our mindset and our thought process when we're doing these tasks. Because all it takes is for someone to make that lack of judgment regarding those kind of behaviors that I just talked about, and that's going to lead to that really serious injury or accident that it could occur. So I challenge everybody to really set the priorities. Put safety of yourself and your fellow coworkers first before we start any task and any decision making that we're doing minute by minute, hour by hour, making sure our priorities are set for safety. Anything to add, Ken or Ben?
Well, there's a lot of hazardous attitudes out there, and invulnerability was one of the ones you talked about, which is it can't happen to me.
Yep.
So I don't know if Ken said something. I don't know if he was muted. I thought I don't know if I stepped on you, Ken.
What's your question?
Oh, I didn't know if you were saying something and I stepped on you.
No, you were fine. Okay, good. Thanks, Matt. I'll take over here.
Yep. Thanks.
If I get the right one.
We got it.
Okay. These little boxes out of my way. Little screen boxes.
Housekeeping.
Okay, announcements. Hey, we're really excited to announce a supplemental profit distribution for the 2022. You know, we're in 2023. We had a great year last year. And now that the books are closed, we'll be providing a 1.5% profit sharing contribution to your 401k plans based upon your total 22 wages. So unlike ongoing safe harbor contributions, which is our typical contribution to employees, the profit sharing is susceptible to vesting requirements. So if you're an employee of less than 6 years of service, you only get a portion of that until you've achieved your 6 years of service, just to be clear on that.
And I think it shows up. I think you get it in your account, but if you leave, then you would only get a portion of it.
I assume that it would be shown as a vested and unvested too.
Yep, it does. Yep.
So if you have any questions, check with the accounting office. And one thing I meant to put in here, and I'll carry this announcement till next week, but a link to the Newport Group website, which is the portal that if you don't use it, it's a great little tool, and you can see things like changes like this going on, and you can see vested versus non-vested, all that sort of thing.
Hey, Ken, the one cool thing about this is it's tax-free.
Yeah, you don't get charged tax on that
us
until you take it out, Ben.
Later, but right now,
don't worry, they'll get you. They'll get you.
Pretty awesome. It should show up. It's probably already in your account if everyone wants to check.
It's in there for sure. So the this is last week's announcement. The 2023 healthcare premium holiday will start on the 2nd of June and go on for 14 weeks. And also the accounting department is looking for your Vermont Declaration of Health Coverage, the HC2 form. That's that one that has to get completed every year. And we need to check with them. I don't have a link here. I need to have a link so that we have a form that we can print off and send in. But I'm sure if you go into accounting office, it's probably about 4 lines to fill out, whether you're covered and, you know, that sort of thing, and then sign off on it. So it's easy to do. Just got to get it done. New employees this week. We have a few. This is Luke Patch and Seth Russin, Ray Ingram, and Jackson Ruette. So welcome, everybody. Hope to see you around the job site soon. I have the ECI Primary Wellness Program link here for those people who want to get it and get involved in the wellness plan. And this week we're going to talk about the Lindenwood Drive Stormwater Detention Pond in South Burlington, and Ed Goodrow is going to present for us.
All right, I'm going to let you drive, Ken.
Okay, sounds good.
So ECI was contracted with the city of South Burlington last fall to install a closed drainage system on Lindenwood Drive, which is a dead-end, narrow residential street off of Shelburne Road, just past Detilio's, if you know where Detilio's is, the gun shop. So our contract had a completion date of May 15, 2023. Obviously, we've gone past that date, but the completion date has since been extended to June 1st through change orders. But we should be complete May 26th, next Friday. So Lindenwood, it's a really flat street with minimal surface drainage, and the street always had a more than a large puddle. It was more like a small pond in one area of the road in the spring and after rain events. So the objective of the project was to eliminate this small pond with the drainage system, and due to the grades out there being so flat, we have to do it without creating puddles in the residential driveways, so which is a task in itself. So there's some regrading that has to go on. So the work included a little bit of clearing and grubbing, so we could dig the detention pond for the stormwater, a little over 800 feet of 15 and 18-inch storm drain line, and some 7 catch basins and a precast treatment tank, as well as an outlet structure. So right at the beginning, we dug some test pits, and we determined that we had to install a new sewer line under change order because the proposed drain line was going to be in conflict with the existing gravity sewer services. So that got added to the task that we needed to complete. We also needed to adjust water services as we were installing our drain line because they were in conflict with our drain line as well. So, and then in the end, originally it was going to be a trench patch paving job. We are still doing the trench patch, but the city decided to mill the existing asphalt and to allow for an 1.5 inch overlay, which will also help in the end for the drainage, surface drainage. Charlie Fecto and his crew started the project late in 2022, and Jesse Lumbra, he came on at the end of 2022, and then took it from there this spring, and is going to finish it up next week. It was really challenging. It was a challenging little project. I mean, there's no room. Basically, it's a two-way street, but when you put a dump truck on it, it's now a one-way street. So it was tough. And there's a lot of existing gas lines, communication lines, and the water services. But in the end, we did a really good job communicating with the homeowners and the residents down there about our schedule and how things, your driveway is going to be tied up. We're going to have to cross your driveway. So you won't be able to get in or out. Do you want to get out or whatever? So, and our crew down there did an exceptional job communicating with these people, and they seem to be very happy with the way everything went, and the city seems to be happy as well. So we should wrap it up next week. We're going to base pave today and overlay next Monday, and then do the cleanup, and we'll be out of there. So in the end, I think ECI provided a super quality project for the city, and it was a good job. And we have some plans here. So if you go to the left, that's where Shelburne Road is. So we were in off of Shelburne Road. You can even see the project from Shelburne Road. But you can see the detention pond to the right. There's also a bike walking path that came up through the woods there, that continues on to Lindenwood Drive. So we had to close that path off for the entirety of the project, which I think that worked to a certain extent, but it was obvious that there were still pedal bikers and walkers that would kind of straggle through the work zone, and they'd have to get turned around. Here's a little close up of the detention pond, and the on the not at the well, I guess it would be the west side of the pond is the retreatment tank, and the storm drainage to the right. There's 1, 2, 3 catch basins there. That was picking up existing storm drainage from Shelburne Road that was coming down through the residents' backyard there. And then to the left is where we started coming up Lindenwood Drive. And you want to move forward, Ken?
Yep. So the pre-filtered tank treatment is just a deep sump structure. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Got a
We've got a
fancy
little
name.
it's there's a little access road. They're supposed to obviously service it annually, so hopefully that happens. We'll see. This is last fall when we got started. The excavator is actually where the outfall from the pond is going to go, and kind of where that pile of dirt is, and to the right of the pipe is where the pond's going to be excavated. And here we are starting the pond excavation.
Nice sand.
It was
Nice
nice.
sand.
It was pretty nice material until it got wet, and
Yeah.
then it kind of turned snotty. But
Yeah.
actually, it was pretty good stuff. We had like 1,300 yards we had to take out of there. This is the outfall structure. And there's the pond, what have you, 2/3 complete. The back slope done and the outfall structure in with the outfall pipe down over behind the excavator.
Okay. That makes sense behind that structure.
Yeah. Here's the pond completed. And we had FR
Yesterday.
Lafayette come in. What's that?
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was Ken's picture from yesterday, and you can see the sidewalk closed barricade there. And
Keeps
Lafayette came
everybody
in. There's the outlet pipe, restored and grass growing, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
And here's some probably sewer. This is the sewer change order work, I believe.
Yeah, I see some green pipe down there.
Yep. Yeah, the existing sewer is out in the road, and they moved the new sewer closer to the houses. So eventually, after we got the new sewer main in, our storm drain pipe went between the new sewer main and the existing sewer main. But you can see in the right-hand side of that trench up high, that is, I believe, the gas main. So we were right tight to some stuff in there. It was a challenge.
Right. And I guess what's obvious looking and thinking about it is when you have these tiny narrow streets, you're just compacting all the pretty much the same utilities in a smaller area.
Exactly.
Fortunately, a lot of our work was shallow.
Exactly. Yeah. We had to use a trench box for a part of it, but the majority was shallow enough we could safety slope it. And there's Greer Pelican with some insulation board there, probably insulating a water service.
Oh, there's the pipe. That's the drain pipe.
Yeah.
Or is it crossing, you think, for for the water in there?
I'm assuming there's a water service that we had to like bend
Right.
up over our line.
Yep. Trench box work here.
Yep.
This is yesterday again.
Yeah. Ryan Parker and the excavator. And you can see they did the milling on Wednesday. And we're prepping the trench for base paving today. So yeah, we're gaining on it.
Right.
It's come a long way in the last week.
This must be one of the last structures to get adjusted. Did I freeze up or did Ed freeze?
I'm back.
Oh, there you are. I
Yep.
don't know if I
They
froze
had
or you
to,
froze.
I think it might have been me. But anyways, we had to adjust this one archaic sewer manhole. You move one wrong brick and the whole thing could have fell in, but they did the best they could, cobbing it up and making it work. So
Yeah.
there we are compacting.
It's like last
Struggled
night,
a bit.
maybe.
Yeah, that would have been last night. Yeah, they were going to put in a late one to make sure they were ready for Daryl and his crew this morning.
Well, when I was there yesterday, the Gothier Trucking came to pick up the trash, and the guys were on the ball and saw that they couldn't get the trash truck couldn't get through because we were working. So we grabbed some of the cans and ran it down to the dumpster to the truck. Get in the next picture here. There we go. And there's a bicyclist because there's always people passing through that road, despite the fact it's closed. Because that guy didn't really go through. He just stopped and talked to me and to Craig Plum, is the resident engineer from GPI, who used to be like public works director for City of South Burlington for a short time. So that's what I got. I don't know if Jesse or Charlie are out there with any comments. I'll move on here. So I have, this is a photo from a St. Albans stormwater improvement project back in 2009, and got these proud ECI guys showing off their accomplishment here. Look at us. Yeah, it looks a little sticky in there.
Stuck. Yeah.
That's what I got. Matt, I'll turn it back over to you. Have a safe day out there. Think about safe behaviors.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Ken. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a great day. If you watching a group setting, please just send me attendance so I can capture it today, add to our running log. Let's have a great day.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Ed, for good presentation.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yep. See ya.